Hello, Yawning Angel back again with another AMOS Pro video. A slightly different AMOS video to usual in as much as in this video we're not actually going to be doing any programming. What? I hear you cry. How is this even possible, Yawning Angel? Well, in this video we're going to be looking at the power of AMOS Pro to enable you to see what is actually going on inside your program's code while the program is running. Yes, you can actually debug your programs on the fly. To show you how, we're going to be taking a look at the monitor tool, which is actually built into the AMOS Pro development environment. Using the monitor will save you having to add countless lines of debug code to your program, where you get variables to show you the value of other variables within the program placed at strategic points, the kind of thing which can get out of hand quite quickly and make your program look quite messy. It'll also save you drawing out lots of flow diagrams, trying to work out the program structure and calculate what values variables have in them at any given point in time, although there's always a place for this in any programming. Accessing the monitor tool from within AMOS Pro is incredibly easy, although there are some cases where it might not run, and this may have been due to a fault in the AMOS Pro install process. We'll take a look and look at the files you actually need in order to get this tool to run properly. So without further ado, and you know how this works, let's grab a brew and dive on into some example code. Okay, here we are then in front of my Amiga, cup of tea obtained. That's good. Good tea this morning, I need that. Cup of tea and change of t-shirt. It's almost like we film these scenes on different days, but who knows, right. So before we dive into AMOS and get going with the monitor, I wanted to make you aware that there's a couple of files that are needed in order to get the monitor running. And what you're going to need to do to make sure you've got them, I mean, you could just fire up AMOS, punch F4. If the monitor comes up, happy days. If it doesn't, you're going to be missing a file, one file in particular. And I want to show you where these files need to reside. So go to your AMOS install on your Amiga and head to the AP system folder. And there are two files in there which are needed. So unsurprisingly, AMOS Pro _monitor and AMOS Pro _monitor _resource.abk. These need to be there. Now, I've read online, and I had the same problem. The monitor resource file was missing, and I had to track that down in order to just literally copy it across into this AP system folder. Now, that file resides on your AMOS Pro system disk, and this is mine. Unfortunately, that system disk doesn't work very well, so I've actually got a backup. So what I'm going to do is pop that in to my floppy drive, and let's pop that over onto the right window. And what we need to do is head to that AP system folder. There it is there. So this is on the floppy disk now. So AP system, oh, come on. And there we go, monitor and monitor resource.abk. Both of those files reside in there. So what you can do then is literally just, if you haven't got it on your hard drive, just copy that file across from the AMOS system floppy disk, get it into where your install is in your AMOS Pro AP system folder, and pretty much that's it, and you should be good to go from there. So that's it, happy days. Let's get on with it. Right, here we are then in familiar territory. We're in some AMOS code. I need another mouthful of tea. Tea today brought to us courtesy of the What Ho Snorkers mug, which is pretty cool. I know I always say it, but if you haven't seen What Ho Snorkers' channel, I do recommend you go and check it out. There'll be a link in the description down below. Right, so here I am in AMOS Pro, and I've got this program here. Usually I make these programs available for download, but this won't be because this is just some example code just to show you how the monitor works. You, of course, will use your own programs. So to access the monitor from within AMOS Pro, there's a big old button up here with an M on it you can press. So if we press that, that takes us into the monitor. I'm going to come back out very quickly because another way to do it is just to press F4, and that gets us in as well. So F4 or press the M icon at the top of the screen. It's all good. So When the monitor opens, this is it. This is what you are presented with. So let me give you a quick whistle-stop tour of this, this layout here. So what you're seeing, top left-hand corner, is your screen. This is the screen that your program will be pushing output to. Please note at the top it says screen #0. That is screen number 1. If your program is using multiple screens, oh, what happens then, Yawning Angel? Well, wait and see. I will come on to that. Over here you've got a control panel with various doodads and buttons on it. So we'll have a closer look at those in a minute. This window in the middle is your program code. This is your program listing, and as the monitor runs you will see your code listing moving up and down through this window. And the window at the bottom here, this is an information window. So this is where the monitor is giving you information that you ask for. So the value of variables, the value of evaluations, anything that's going on is coming up here in this information window, which is all good. Right, so let's go through these buttons very quickly, and I'll tell you what each one does. So, on to the buttons then. What do they all do, Yawning Angel, I hear you ask? Well, it's quite simple and straightforward once you know. So the first button that your eye might be drawn to is the one with the red lettering on it called Init. Now this is initialize, and this is quite important because what this does, you have to hit this button first. So as soon as you go into the monitor with your program, you have to press Init. And what this does is gets AMOS to basically take a quick run through your program, have a look at it. If there's any problems immediately, it will highlight those. But also it almost preps the monitor for using that program. So you can't do anything until you've pressed the Init button. So I'm going to do that now. And there we go. So we can see some things have changed now in the program listing and in the information window. So in the program listing, we've got these 3 blue chevrons have appeared, and this is where the monitor is now started. So as soon as we get the monitor running, it's going to start its monitoring from that line and start working its way through the program. Down here in the information window, we've got next instruction. It tells us what the next instruction is, and it's just a comment that I've put that says using the monitor for debugging. You might have seen me click it earlier. The Q button quits you out of the monitor and takes you back to the editor. We've got this kind of joypad sort of thing going on here, and this is related to the screen over here. So the up and down, left and right arrows, if your screen is quite large, this enables you to scroll around it, because obviously AMOS can only do so much. So a basic low-res screen will always display in here, but anything larger, you're going to need to move around it. So that's what this will actually do. Clicking on the button in the middle, remember I mentioned about the screen number up here. Well, clicking on this button in the middle will actually toggle your screen. So if you've got multiple screens, you'll click that to see what's happening on that screen. Obviously nothing's happening now because I haven't actually started my program running yet. So that when it runs, you'll see what that happening. We've got a big H here. So what does H do? H stands for help. So if we click on H, what we can do then is go down to an instruction in your code listing, click and drag, and you see a line appears under there. So I've done that under the word hide. And if I let go, this brings up the help menu. So I underlined the word hide because it's an instruction, and it brings up here telling me exactly what hide does. So hides the mouse pointer from your screen depending on the number of times specified by a show command. It gives you the syntax of the command there. So you can press H, then click and underline a command, and it will bring up the help guide and tell you all about that command. How cool is that? So then you just press the X in the top left-hand corner to get rid of that. Then yeah, H is still selected until we select another button. Break is put a breakpoint in your program. So I'll come on to that in a minute. We can put a breakpoint in somewhere to stop the program at a given point in the program listing. Val. So val is basically evaluate. Tell me what's going on with this variable. Tell me what's going on with this command. So at the moment I haven't got anything here to show you, but once we get the program running, I will be making use of that. Then we've got a stop button, a play button, a play a little bit faster button, even faster and really fast. So we're going to be really using the play button. If you hit the play, what it does, it goes through your program listing one step at a time. If you press these other buttons, it obviously then moves faster through your program. So if you've got a lot of code you just need to shuttle through quite quickly, that's fine. Until you're ready, then you can just press the stop button to stop where you want to. Or if you put a breakpoint in, you can just literally fast forward to that breakpoint. And that's really all there is to it. It's pretty cool. One thing I do want to mention is over here, this little button just, I don't know if you can see it, so it's just nestled in the corner between these two scroll bars, the horizontal and vertical scroll bar for your program listing. That button there, if you click it, will always take you to where the debugger actually is, to where the monitor is in the program. That will jump to that straight away. No point in clicking it now. Well, like I have, nothing's happened because we're at the first line, and that is pretty much it. So what we're going to do then, we're going to press play and step through the program code and start to see the program evolve. And then when it starts running, we'll start looking at some expressions, get some variable values out and all that good stuff. Brilliant. Right, so what we're going to do now is run through the program, get the program running and see the monitor in action. But before we do, I did want to mention in the AMOS Pro manual, section 12 is all about the monitor. Don't know if you can see that. Section 12, all about the monitor, greater detail there about it. Just thought I'd mention that if you had the manual and wanted to check it out. So, also one other thing, a little bit of housekeeping. If you can hear a faint whining in the background, that is my fan because it is very warm and muggy in this room today. English summers are not pleasant. Okay, here we go then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the play button. And if you look at your program listing, or the program listing window, you see that the command has jumped and you see in the information window, it tells us what the next instruction is. Once again, that is just another comment. So press again, and now look what's happened. It's jumped to an actual command, and the command is, the next instruction is screen open. These are all the parameters that are going into screen open, and it actually breaks them down as well. Doesn't tell you what they are, which is a little bit frustrating, but don't forget, this is quite advanced for its day. I mean, modern IDEs would give you more information, but this is pretty good. So it's telling us what the parameters are. It's our screen open command. We're not going to use screen 1. I'm going to open a screen. We're not going to use screen 0. Sorry, we're going to open screen 1. So let me press play. And so what it's done now, it's gone in and you can see it's opened the screen. You can't see yet, but you will in a minute. And the next instruction, it's going to do the housekeeping for that screen. So it goes through. So if you've got a number of commands on a line, it goes to each command. How good is that? Yeah, look at that. So CLS, because I've actually got a parameter on CLS, it tells me here that's the parameter. And that's it. So it's done that screen command. But Yawning Angel, screen 0 is still showing. Ah, wait. If I click this joypad, the middle joypad button, there we go. It now changes to screen 1. And now I can see what's going on my screen 1. How good is that? Right, so some other just screen setup here. So I'm doing a paper 0, an ink 4. Now I jump in to a for loop, and all I'm going to do is just draw some lines on the screen. So if I now step over that, so it's in the for, so what it's saying here, my next instruction is the draw the V line. So I've got draw is my command, because don't forget, if I do H, and if I go up here and underline the word draw, let go of it, tells me what draw is. My draw parameters are x1 and y1, 2, x2 and y2. Okay, so if I close that, so because I'm doing this in a loop, I've got a variable for my x1 parameter, and it tells me here, these are my parameters. So this first time this command runs, V line is 50, then I've set 50 for my y1, and then V line after my to statement is 50, and then my parameter for there is 70. So if I now click again, it hits the next, and if you notice, my screen's been updated. A line has been drawn. Look at that. So I click again, it goes back to the draw line, so the draw command, and if you notice now, my V line, the value is now 60 because that's changed. I can scroll back up a bit because my command is V line is 50 to 250, and I'm stepping 10 each time. So it's going to be 50, 60, 70, 80, etc., etc. That's what I would expect. So V line here is 60 on the next iteration. So if I go through that again, look at that. My second line has been drawn. This is pretty cool. So, and then we go back. What I did want to do though is we'll have a look at val and let's see what that does. So if I click on it, now what I should be able to do is click on vline, and here we go. Now if I've just clicked at the start of that variable name, look what's happened here in the information window. It's dumped down that variable and it's telling me, oh look, Yawning Angel, it's 70. So if I keep going through that, look at this, vline is updated again. So this time around it's 80. Yeah, you see this working? How good is that? So I can look at the values inside my variables while the program is running. Now, we can see that's where the monitor is in our program. It's on that draw command. If I scroll down into the code, you know, and having a look at what's going on down here, and there's some more stuff here. Oh, there's some Bob stuff coming up. You know, and I'm just browsing through my code and I think, oh, where was I? You know, I need to get back to where the monitor thinks it is. Now, obviously, I do find the scroll bar on this side a little bit basic. You know, you can only really control it with the mouse. You haven't got arrows to move you up and down. But, you know, if you get lost in your program, you want to go back to where the monitor is, click this little square just here, bang, takes you straight back to where the monitor is. That's pretty cool. Right, so what I'm going to do then is let's put a breakpoint in the program, because I don't want to sit here and go through this for loop every single iteration of it. So I'm going to put a breakpoint. So to put a breakpoint, we click on break, and I'm going to go down and click on this word center. Now, if you notice what it's done, it's inverted that line. So that's where our breakpoint is now set. So when I'm going to actually just forward through this program a bit. So I'm going to not click on the play, but click on the kind of fast forward one here. And that's just going to keep drawing those lines for me. And look at that. It's got to my breakpoint and it's stopped. How amazing is that? Think of when this technology existed. That is so cool. I'm telling you, if I'd known about this back in the day, it would have made life a lot easier. Because I was only using normal AMOS back in the day. I wasn't using AMOS Pro. Anyway, so that's where our breakpoint is, but now it's stopped there. So now I can just press the play button just to carry on, and you can see now the text press any key has appeared on the screen. The program is now on a wait key command, and if I press play, it's just gonna, well, I'm sorry, I'm waiting for you to press a key. It will not advance any further through, because that's what happens in your program. Press a key, and now it's jumped on to the next statement. Please note, where I did the val earlier when I was looking at vline, vline is still showing in your window here. So just something to bear in mind. Right, so now I go on to the next statement, and the next instruction is, it's going to print some text on the screen that says move joystick. So that's fine. So now it's move the joystick. Now I've got a joystick. Here's one I prepared earlier. Nothing's going to happen at the moment because the program is obviously stopped on the next line. So that's something to bear in mind. If you start moving a joystick and nothing's happening, look at where the monitor is in your code, because it's probably just sat waiting. Your program is not moving. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a bob. So I've drawn these lines. I'm going to get a bob out of this, and then we're going to use the joystick to move that around the screen. So I set some starting coordinates here for our bob, an X and Y value. Right, so we've set those coordinates. Now what we're going to do is get our bob. So we issue a get bob command. There it is. There's all the parameters for the get bob shown there. If you follow these tutorials, you know what get bob does. So we're all good on that front. Now what I'm going to do is put something on screen 0. So we're using screen 1 here. I'm going to dump something on screen 0 just to show you how you can toggle between the screens and see what's going on. So these instructions here, so I'm going to switch to screen 0, set my cursor, and I'm going to dump some text on screen 0. We're going to come back to screen 1. Yawning Angel, nothing changed on your display. Well, no, it didn't. We're still seeing screen 1 here, but what you see here is you're in complete control of that. So if I click on the center of this joypad here, it now flicks me to screen 0, and look, there's the text that I put on screen 0. I can see it there. Bear in mind, whatever happens in your program, this program is not controlling what the monitor is showing you here. You're in control there. You can toggle between your screens as you see fit. Very, very useful. Now I'm on screen 0. If I now jump over that screen 1 command, the program has gone back to screen 1, but I'm still looking at screen 0 because that's what I choose to look at. Now I'm going to choose to look at screen 1. So I click there, I'm back to screen 1. Right, now what we're going to do, it's just a basic loop, do loop, to enable joystick control over the bob, which I have got, and I'm going to position on the screen. So let's jump into that, and here we go. So here's our bob command, bob1, it's showing us bx and by, so the bx and by values are shown here, down in the information window, our second and third parameters. Very, very cool. And if I just step over that, there's a wait VBL, jump over that, and look, on the screen, there it is, it's actually put our bob. If I do val, I can now go to by, and if I click on by inside this loop, it doesn't matter where, all I want to do is just find the variable, any instance of the variable in my program code, and just click on it, and here it is. In the information window, by is currently set to 20. I want to do bx as well, so if I scroll down a bit, oh, there's bx is used there. So what I should be able to do now is click on bx. Bx joins by in the information window to show me the values. So what I'm going to do is run through this program so you can see things happening. And what I am going to do is just explain these playback buttons in a little bit more detail. So these buttons then, so just to reiterate, so the stop button here is the square, so the play button here is basically the one-step command. This steps to each instruction as you click the play button, okay? So I'm going to use the manual here because it's probably better coming from the manual than it is just from my mind. So the next button, the one with 2 arrows, is the slow run command. Now what that's actually doing is running your program in slow motion. So, you can see what's going on. I say slow motion, but that's not too bad. So I can see what statements are being hit. Because I'm in a do loop, that's just kind of going through. That's fine, nothing's happening. If I had a breakpoint in there somewhere, then obviously it would stop. But I can just flick back, out, click anywhere out of there, and it stops it wherever it was. The next button along, the one with the 3 arrows, is the normal run command. So this runs the program normally, but updates this display once every 50th of a second, so you can see what is going on. What I am going to do is I'm going to put a breakpoint in here. So if I go down to, if joystick down, I'm just going to click that. So that's inverted, that's my breakpoint. So if I hit this button, so the program is actually running, and it's not showing us anything because it is running fast and it's not updating that screen all the time. But now, did you notice, oh, I didn't show you on camera, I did actually press down on the joystick and it's hit that breakpoint, so, which is pretty cool. And if I just click it again, yep, because I've hit the breakpoint, it's stopping there each time. So the breakpoint will stop us there quite nicely. So let me go back to the play, that's fine. And the final button up along here basically is the fast run button. This then switches the program to full screen and lets the program have its have all the power, all the resources, and it just runs nicely. And it will stop if it hits an error or if it hits one of your breakpoints. So if I click that, we are there full screen. Strangely though, it's ignoring that breakpoint. The manual says it should hit the breakpoint and stop, which quite clearly it's not. But as you can see, that program is running fine as I move my joystick around. It's all good. So way to get out of this then, if you hit Control-C on the keyboard, it takes you back to the monitor and I can now step through. Interesting, it ignored that breakpoint. A little bit of an oddity. Something I did find when using this, it doesn't do everything it says it's going to do. There are some crazy moments that it has. But for the most part of it, this stops you having to guess what's in those variables. Having to dump, put print statements in your program code so it puts the value of the variables up on the screen as your program is running. Putting in that debug code, which can be quite cumbersome and also can slow your program down. At least here in the monitor, we can actually see what's going on and interrogate each variable as it's used, which is a really, really great help. So that's about it really for the monitor. I mean, obviously this will just keep going because it's inside a loop, but I can see what's going on. I can see the value of variables. Not much else I can ask for really in a debug tool from this time period. And I think that's the important thing to remember. Just something a little bit extra, I wanted to show you about the usefulness of putting breakpoints in your code, and a little bit of control around breakpoints as well. So I've loaded up a larger program, a little side project that I'm working on, which may well be the feature of a forthcoming video, but who knows. Right, so I'm in this code and I'm going to press F4, I'm going to initialize it, and what I want to do, because the program is actually quite large, I'm going to move down through the code and try and find my main loop. Here's my main loop. So I'm going to put a breakpoint in on where this bob is actually positioned on the screen. And then I'm going to punch the 3-arrow play button, and bang, there we go. Look at that. So the debugger has found that breakpoint and stopped just there. This is a screen 1 set of instructions here. I'm still showing screen 0, so I'll just quickly toggle across. There we go. So now if I do this, something to note, if I'm going through my code, as the debugger hits I call it the debugger, the monitor hits a procedure name, it will jump into that procedure and start going through the lines of code in there. But what I do want to do is I'm just going to come down here a little bit, and I'm going to put, so I've got a breakpoint there, I'm going to put a breakpoint on that wait VBL, because I don't necessarily want to go through and watch what's going on inside these procedures. Something of note I did want to mention, if you set a breakpoint and you want to get rid of it, just click anywhere else on the screen and it actually gets rid of it. So you need to click on the instruction you want the breakpoint to happen at, but clicking somewhere else gets rid of that breakpoint. So I'm going to put it on that wait VBL command. Just going to press that again, and here you can see now some other stuff has happened on the screen. We're on the wait VBL, and now here we go. The code is kind of running, and off you go. So that is it really. There's a couple of foibles there on the monitor, but it is incredibly useful. So I do definitely say that you should be using it. I do stress, use it a lot in your code, trying to debug stuff. It will save you oodles of time. And I'm only sorry that I've only got to this now. I wish I'd got to it a lot sooner. But anyway, I hope this has been of some interest and of some use to you. Huzzah! And that is it for another video. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope you've got something out of this and you find that the monitor tool is something you can use to aid your program development within AMOS. If you enjoyed this video, do the usual YouTube stuff, give it a thumbs up. Just the one, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already done so, please subscribe to my channel. All these things help me to grow this channel and reach more people and carry on making these videos. But that's it for now. So until the next time, whatever you do, look after yourselves and keep it retro.